Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Dhyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashatadeshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gauravakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gauravakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Fourth chapter of Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Welcome everyone on this wonderful Sunday morning. So yesterday we read chapter 2 and chapter 3. Chapter 2 was about meeting of Sanatana Goswami with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whereas chapter 3 was about how to approach a guru. What should be the mood? An example set and exemplified by the personality of Sanatana Goswami. We talked about his Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shibir. Yet he was so humble that he considered himself to be completely ignorant and foolish. And that's how he surrendered. Let's come to chapter number 4. Mother Medhavani, you have screen sharing rights. So if you feel inspired, you can share the screen. Chapter 4, title as a wise man. So as I said, now the respective discussions are subdivided as chapters. So wise man, even I didn't get a chance to read beforehand, so I don't know what exactly it is. So rather than speculate about what will be the subject matter, let's start reading it. Since no one can trace the history of the living entity's entanglement in material energy, the Lord says that it is beginningless. By beginningless, it is meant that conditional life exists prior to the creation. It is simply manifested during and after the creation. Due to forgetfulness of his nature, the living entity, or the spirit, suffers all kinds of miseries in material existence. It should be understood that there are also living entities who are not entangled in this material energy, but are situated in the spiritual world. They are called liberated souls, Nitya Mukta, and are always engaged in Krishna consciousness, devotional service. Anyone else would like to read the next paragraph? Who is signed in?
The activities.
I cannot do much with my. Okay, done. Go ahead.
The activities of those who are conditioned by material nature are taken into account. and in their next life, according to these activities, they are offered different types of material bodies. In the material world, the conditioned spirit soul is subjected to various rewards and punishments. When he is rewarded for his righteous activities, he is elevated to the higher planets, where he becomes one of the many demigods. And when he is punished for these abominable activities, he is thrown into hellish planets, where he suffers the miseries of material existence more acutely. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives a very nice example of this punishment. Formerly, a king used to punish a criminal by dunking him in the river, raising him up again for breath, and then again dunking him in the river, in the water. Material nature punishes and rewards the individual entity in just the same way. When he is punished, he is dunked in the water of material miseries, and when he is rewarded, he is taken out of it for some time. Elevation to the higher planets or to a higher life status is never permanent. One must again come down to be submerged in the water. All this is constantly going on in this material existence. Sometimes one is elevated to higher planetary systems, and sometimes one is thrown into the hellish condition of material life.
Yeah, that's what sixth canto Srimad Bhagavatam. Chittaketu Maharaj also says, going up the cycle of happiness, coming down to the cycle of mystery. In this regard, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recites a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is from 11th canto, Nadmani speaking to Vasudev. Bhayam dvitya vineveshatasyad ishad apetasya viparavayo asmritihi tanmayayatu buddha abhajittam bhaktya kayasham guru devatma. So bhayam dvitya vineveshatasyad. This material world is characterized by fear. In this quotation from the 9 sages, when instructing Maharaj Nimi, Maya is defined as forgetfulness of one's relationship with Krishna. Maya means which is not, that has no existence. Thus, it is false to think that the living entity has no connection with the Lord. He may not believe in the existence of God, or he may think that he has no relationship with God, but these are all illusions of Maya. Due to absorption in this false conception of life, man is always fearful and full of anxieties. In other words, a godless concept of life is Maya. One is actually learned in the Vedic literature, surrendered to the Lord with great devotion and accepts him as a supreme goal. When a living entity forgets the constitutional nature of his relationship with God, he is at once overwhelmed by the external energy. This is the cause of his false ego, his false identification of the body with the self. Indeed, his whole conception of the material universe arises from the false identification of the body, for he becomes attached to the body and its byproducts. To escape this entanglement, he has only to perform his duty and to surrender unto the Supreme Lord with intelligence, devotion, and with sincere Krishna consciousness. I repeat, to escape this entanglement, he has only to perform his duty, which is dharma. And that is what the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna encourages Arjuna to get up and fight, because that was his duty, while surrendering unto the Supreme Lord. Mai sarvani karmani sanyas adhyatma chetasa. Unto the Supreme Lord with intelligence and devotion and with sincere Krishna consciousness. A conditioned soul falsely thinks himself happy in the material world. But if he is favored by the instructions of an unalloyed devotee, he gives up this desire for material enjoyment and becomes enlightened in Krishna consciousness. As soon as one enters into the Krishna consciousness, his desire for material enjoyment at once vanquished. He gradually becomes free from material entanglement. There is no question of darkness where there is light, and Krishna consciousness is the light that dispels the darkness of material sense enjoyment. Ya nisha sarva bhutani tasyam jagrati samyati. That's the idea. Both the materialist and spiritualist living in the same world, but their perception of reality is entirely opposite. And what is the perception of reality? Ya nisha sarva bhutani. What is dark for all living entities, that's the time of waking up for the self-realized soul. Like that, the concept has been described. And This perception of reality, we can see it in almost all the actions, the way the conversation happens, the kind of dress that we wear. The conversation that we do is nothing but the function of our desires. What we are longing for is what comes out of the mouth. The kind of dress we wear, the kind of lifestyle we live, that's subject matter. It's not a matter of having money. Then only you can be charitable. No, money does not defines your charitable disposition. Sridhar Kolavecha Sridhar was highly charitable, and he hardly made any Lakshmi. So it's a disposition. It is a perception of reality that makes you do charity or that makes you feel selfish. When we are attuned to the frequency of this world, people by default becomes more and more selfish because you're living in part of the reality where you feel exploited, and your understanding of happiness, it comes only from exploiting others. Whereas when you're talking about the spiritual reality, there our happiness comes from service. Our happiness comes from by giving. By giving, we receive more. So charity is inevitable. That's the point. A Krishna conscious person is never under the false conception that he is one with God. Knowing that he would not be happy by working for himself, he engages all his energies in the service of the Lord and thereby gains release from the clutches of the illusory material energy. And this connection, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quotes the following verse from Bhagavad-gita. Devi Shugramai Mamaya Drutyaya Mami Prapadyante Mayametam Taranti Te. All of you know this very well. The divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who are surrendered to me can easily cross beyond me, or cross beyond it. So Maya Devi is also the divine energy of the Lord. Hare Krishna. We have increased too much height of it. It looks like I'm looking at it should be on the eyes side. I have to tilt my neck every time just to look at the audience. What was I saying? So Krishna says this is divine energy. Devi Esha Gunamai. So both illusion and reality is manifesting from the Lord. That's the point. Although both are manifesting from the Lord, some have chosen to take shelter of the illusion. Therefore, they're called as conditioned living entities, while others have chosen to always remain in the reality. Those are called as Nitya Mukta, and those who are chosen to be part of illusion called to be Nitya Baddha. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went on to teach that for each and every moment he is engaged in some fruitive activity. The conditioned soul forgets his real identity. Sometimes when he's fatigued, when he's tired of material activities, he wants liberation and hankers to become one with the Supreme Lord. What kind of individual is this? This is Jnani. But at the time he thinks that by working hard to gratify senses, he will be happy. Who is he? Karmi. In either case, he is covered by material energy. For the enlightened man, to such bewildered conditioned souls, the Supreme Lord has presented voluminous Vedic literatures such as Vedas, Puranas, and Vedanta Sutra. These are all intended to guide the human being back to Godhead. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given further instructions by explaining that when a conditioned soul is accepted by the mercy of the spiritual master and is guided by the super soul in various Vedic scriptures, he becomes enlightened and makes progress in spiritual realization. It is because Lord Krishna is always merciful upon his devotees that he has presented all these Vedic literatures by which one can understand his relationship with him and can act on the basis of that relationship. In this way, one is gifted with the ultimate goal of life. Now, in the present day, to take to the process of spiritual life, what would you say? Is it easy or difficult? In the present day, to take to the spiritual culture, spiritual life, is it easy or is it difficult? Easy. Give your purpose. How many of you say to take to spiritual life and today's situation is easy? Please raise your hand. Those who think it's easy. तो खुद हाथ खड़ा नहीं कर रहा है. Okay. Okay. Some of them saying easy. How many of you say it's very difficult to take to spiritual life? Okay. So anyone, why is it easy? You changing a party? Easy only. Okay, okay. Why is it easy? Okay, okay, okay. You're quoting Prabhupada's statement. Those who are simple-hearted, they'll find Krishna conscious people. Okay. I'm talking in the context of time, you know. So simple people existed before also. I'm talking in the context of time. With the influence of time today, in current situation, is it easy or not? That's the question. Yes. Hari bol. ठीक है, Prashant, you're going something. Go ahead. Wait a minute. I need to set my system here. Yes, boys at Blue Ridge.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Eternal Pradam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, it's difficult because of a lot of distractions.
It's difficult with a lot of distraction. Okay. Anyone else who says easy? Yes, Prashant, get the mic. Difficult, get the mic. Why do you say it's difficult? क्यों लगा ईयरफोन? क्लास सुन रहे हो ना डायरेक्टली? ईयरफोन से क्यों सुन रहे हो? Okay.
Actually, Prabhuji, process is simple, but to follow that process is difficult because of
question
lots
was
of
simple.
distraction.
Answers you have made complicated. That's the only thing. I'll repeat again. Is taking to Krishna consciousness easy or difficult in today's time? Yes or no? What's your answer? Yes, what's your answer? One line answer.
Easy.
Easy. Why easy?
So many things are complicated in Prabhupada's mission. Krishna consciousness, by eating prasad, by chanting, by dancing.
Okay, saying because Srila Prabhupada made it easy, so it's easy. All right, that's bottom line. Difficult. You got a chance. Yes.
Even if someone takes to Krishna consciousness, environment is such that they will pull back their friends.
Environment is so horrible, becomes difficult. So my take is, it is so easy. It is so easy. It has never been so easy. And of course, the credit goes to Srila Prabhupada for that. The reason is there are so many people in the world today whose life have been transformed by reading Bhagavad Gita. We have so many examples like this. We didn't had so many examples before. And if you want to understand that spectrum, go back and read Journey Home. And His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj talks about his experience in the yoga society at Bombay, where the yoga teachers from all over the world had assembled, how they were fighting like cats and dogs just to take credit. Now, even a young man, so many people in this world today are chanting the holy names of the Lord, isn't it? Of course, the whole credit goes to Srila Prabhupada for making it so easy. So because we have so many examples from the richest people, from the simple villager on the ground, have taken to spiritual life, and it is working for them, and that's the reason they're practicing. And we have so many Prabhupada disciples who dedicated their life. So it's not something that the question comes in our mind, oh, am I the first one on whom this has been experimented? So when Prabhupada started the mission, it was very difficult. Because that's the time people were taking for the first time. Today, so many examples are there. You just have to do it. And even if you can't do it, it's a different thing. Of course, the environment has become complicated. But matter of fact is, the vices in the heart of living entity, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Muhammad, Matsarya, was there even when Kauravas were ruling. How did Duryodhana treat Draupadi? So vices were always there. Of course, the opportunity to fulfill those vices have become easy today. But the problems are always going to be there, no doubt about it. If you look at the times, at the time of appearance of Buddha, Gautama, how degraded the society was. At least we can expect there are some good Brahmanas today. Almost all the Brahmanas that time were eating non-veg. So much animal sacrifice going on. So to just put the things onto the environment, not the best thing. I guess we need to count our blessings. We have all the opportunity to practice, we have all the facility to practice, and every opportunity for us to go back home, back to Godhead in this very lifetime. If in case we find it difficult, it's just because maybe we find it difficult to be grateful or to see the positive that is happening around us. Probably we are too much attuned to the external world. If you focus towards the devotee community that we live in, then you're not going to be too much affected by what's happening outside. So it's easy, very easy. And the evidence is ISKCON temples are growing, isn't it? The devotees are growing. Sustainability is difficult. But I never asked that question. I asked the question, is it easy to start Krishna consciousness? I never said sustainability. If it was sustainability, oh, so difficult. So sustainability was easy before? Absolutely. So sustainability is difficult. Anyways, I don't know why did I came to this point. Where were we? All right. Next, who has the access to mic? Please start reading. Bolo. Nothing is coming. Indeed. Yes. Correct. Start reading.
Actually, every living entity is destined to reach the Supreme Lord. Indeed, it is possible for everyone to understand his relationship with the Supreme. The execution of duties to attain perfection is known as devotional service. And in maturity, such devotional service becomes love of God, the factual goal of life for every living being. Actually, the living entity is not intended to achieve success in religious rituals, economic development, or sense enjoyment. The living entity should not even desire success in liberation. What to speak of success in religion, economics, and sense enjoyment? One's real desire should only be to achieve the stage of loving transcendental service to the Lord. The all attractive features of Lord Krishna help one in attaining this transcendental service. And it is by such service in Krishna consciousness that one can realize the relationship between Krishna and himself.
Continue.
Concerning man's search for the ultimate goal of life, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relates a story from the commentary of Madhva, which occurs in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Madhva Bhashya. Sarvagya, to a poor man who came to him to have his future told, when Sarvagya saw the horoscope of the man, he was at once astonished that the man was so poor, and he said to him, "Why are you so unhappy? From your horoscope, I can see that you have a hidden treasure left to you by your father. However, the horoscope indicates that your father could not disclose this to you because he died in a foreign place. But now you can search out this treasure and be happy." This story is cited because the living entity is suffering due to his ignorance of the hidden treasure of his Supreme Father Krishna. That treasure is love of Godhead. And in every Vedic scripture, the conditioned soul is advised to find it. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, although the conditioned soul is the son of the wealthiest personality, the personality of Godhead, he does not realize it. Therefore, Vedic literatures are given to him to help him search out his father and his paternal property.
So that's a very interesting story. And looks like the rest of this discussion is based on the story, how he's going to search for the wealth. And he finds it. And then begins the interesting phenomenon. How many of you have heard of the story? All right, only 2 here. How many of you know the story of Sarvagya? Online audience? No? Let the suspense continues. All right. The astrologer Sarvagya further advised the woman, do not dig on the southern side of your house to find the treasure. For if you do so, you'll be attacked by a poisonous wasp and will be baffled. Somebody asking, should we continue?
The astrologer Sarvagya further advised the poor man, don't dig on the southern side of your house to find the treasure. For if you do so, you will be attacked by a poisonous wasp and will be baffled. The search should be conducted on the eastern side, where there is actual light, which is called devotional service or Krishna consciousness. On the southern side, there are Vedic rituals, and on the western side, there is mental speculation, and on the northern side, there is meditational yoga. Sarvagya's advice should be carefully noted by everyone. If one searches for the ultimate goal by the ritualistic process, he will surely be baffled. Such a process involves the performance of rituals under the guidance of a priest who takes money in exchange for service. A man may think he will be happy by performing such rituals, but actually, if he does but actually if he does gain some result from them, it is only temporary. His material distresses will continue. Thus, he will never become truly happy by following the ritualistic process. Instead, he will simply increase his material pangs more and more. The same may be said for digging on the northern side or searching for the treasure by means of the meditational yoga process. By this process, a person thinks of becoming one with the Supreme Lord, but this merging into the Supreme is like being swallowed by a large serpent. Sometimes a large serpent swallows a smaller one, and merging into the spiritual existence of the Supreme is analogous. While the small serpent is searching after perfection, he is swallowed. Obviously, there is no solution here. On the western side, there is also an impediment in the form of Yaksha, an evil spirit who protects the treasure. The idea is that a hidden treasure can never be found by one who asks the favor of a Yaksha in order to attain it. The result is that one will simply be killed. This Yaksha is the speculative mind. And in this case, the speculative process of self realization or the jnana process is also suicidal. The only possibility then is to search for hidden treasure on the eastern side by the process of devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. Indeed, that process of devotional service is the perpetual hidden treasure, and when one attains to it, he becomes perpetually rich. One who is poor in devotional service to Krishna is always in need of material gain. Sometimes he suffers the bites of poisonous creatures, and sometimes he is baffled. Sometimes he follows the philosophy of monism and thereby loses his identity. And sometimes he is swallowed by a large serpent.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Yeah, finally. My Zoom was hanged, not able on mute. I was saying there's two terminologies. One is called as monism, other is called monotheistic. Bhagavad Gita establishes monotheistic stance over polytheistic stance. Monotheistic means one God. Polytheistic means many gods. Monism means merging. And dualism means two. Lord is different, Jiva is different. So Advait, non-dual, that is monism. Dvait is dual. Just adding, so if you see these terminologies, you don't get confused about it. And sometimes he's swallowed by a large serpent. It is only by abandoning all this and becoming fixed in Krishna consciousness, devotional service to the Lord, that one can actually achieve the perfection of life. Hare Krishna. So the title wise man among all the living entities, Bhaunam Janmanamante Jnanaman Mam Papadute Vasudevam Sarvate Mahatma Sadulva. So what is the definition of wise man? Okay, before we give the definition of wise man, what is the definition of foolish man? Can you get my smartphone, please? What is the definition of foolish man from Bhagavad Gita? भगवान बड़े प्रेम से मूढ़ा शब्द अनेक बार प्रयोग करते हैं. अवजानन्ति महामूढ़ा. All right. What else? What's the definition of a foolish man? Then we'll talk about what's the definition of wise man. Not, it should be on the table. Opposite, that's not mine. The brown cover. Anyone? Yes, Ritesh Prabhu.
So, Prabhuji, according to the Bhagavad Gita, if one deals with Maya and he wants to exchange, but ultimately he get a bad deal because ultimately he is entangled with that.
Yeah,
and
I was kind of looking for a verse, not a purport. According to Bhagavad Gita, which is wonderful. मतलब दूसरी लाइन तो ऐसे सुना रहा है जैसे मुझे पता नहीं थी. वो तो ऑलरेडी श्लोक बोल दिया ना यार. तुम तो इतने confidently बता रहे हो. Tell something else. I said many places. This is not what I'm looking for. Avajanti Mamurta, I already said. Say something else. What is the definition of foolish? You guys have heard it so many times from me.
Was the one who takes shelter of material energy of the.
So that is foolish. Quote a verse. किस भक्ति शास्त्री में भगवद गीता हो गया यहाँ पे? Okay, I mean that's I mean I'm not trying to scare you. It doesn't mean that you know Bhagavad Gita now. It's just we have theoretically at least done it. Of course, it takes time. That's okay. So all right, the definition of foolish. Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 15, verse number 10. Utkramantam sitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudha nanupashyanti pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. Vimudha nanupashyanti. Vimudha. What is the definition of foolish? He cannot see the truth. Translation. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. We can only define wise men when we know what is a foolish man. So a foolish man who does not know the truth, who cannot see how one is changing his body continuously and how there's a perpetual transmigration happening, because within this body also transmigration happens from youth, boy to youth to old age. The body is changing. That is also called as transmigration. So now we have defined a foolish man from Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, verse number 10. What would be the definition of wise man according to Bhagavad Gita? Tell me the verse. Vidya Vinaya Sampane. Well, where it is said wise man? What else? There's so many verses. No. It's not necessarily wise is there. If you understood what is foolish, now you can understand who is wise. Okay, very nice. One definition quoted as 2nd chapter, verse number 13. Dhiras tatrana vayati. Dehinasmin yatade. So who is a wise man? Who sees all the changes, does not get perturbed. Very nice. Okay, good. What else? What is the definition of wise man? Janma karma chamayativyam evam yoveti tatvata. The one who knows this truth. Okay. But this is, again, one who knows this would be a wise man. It doesn't define the action of a wise man. The verse I quoted for foolish man, his action is such he cannot see the truth. The verse which defines action also would be called as wise man, right? You become a wise man when you know that. Well, what is the verse that defines the action of a wise man? Then it is a wise man. Which means if you do this, you are a wise man.
Prabhuji, can I tell?
15 what's the verse? Okay. One who knows his confidential knowledge. Okay, one who knows his confidential knowledge. Okay. More precise.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Mother
can I
Radhika.
tell?
Sorry.
Bahunam janmanamante jnanamam prapadyate vasudevam sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha.
Yeah, say that again. Begin from beginning.
Bahunam janmanamante jnanamam prapadyate vasudevam sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha.
Okay, good. Sa Mahatma Sadurlabha. So what is an action of such a Mahatma? He takes shelter of the Lord. He is a wise man. Valid. What else?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Huh?
Dandavat Pranam,
Spashas. Okay. 213, 214. Tam Statikshva Bharata. Yes, Nikhil Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Manusyanam Sahasreshu Kaschidadi Siddhaye Yatam Api Siddhanam Kaschin Mam Veti Tatvata.
Okay. अब जब बहुना जन्म नाम आ गया तो ये भी आ ही जाएगा. You guys are finding analogous verses. Good attempt. Okay. What else? हमारे पंडित ब्लू रिच के क्या कहेंगे? ब्लू रिज का पंडित समाज कुछ कहना चाहेगा अपना?
एक ही पंडित चतुर्वेदी।
मुझे यहाँ से कमेंट दिया जा रहा है वहाँ चतुर्वेदी बैठे हुए हैं ब्लू रिज में। कुछ चतुर्वेदी जी कहना चाहेंगे? All right, what about this 9th chapter verse number 13? महात्मानस तुमां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिम आश्रितः भजन्ति अननया मनसो ज्ञात्वा भूतादिम अव्ययम्. O son of Pratha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under my protection, the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as a supreme personality, Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Is it okay? It's quite close to it, definition wise man. All right. So thank you for this opportunity to give the association of all the wise people. And we came together and read teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 4. I took a session today because we're going to have a 2 weeks break. I'll be back on 6th November, and then we'll kind of resume. I wanted to have some plan for Karthik also, but because I won't be here, so we won't be able to do something online. But 6th November onward will start. We used to do this Brahma Samhita recitation in the Karthik month and then start the program. We'll see that when I come back on 6th November onwards, we'll take it. So, all right. So I guess that's it for today. Chapter 5 and all that. Next time on when we meet, I'll mainly try to give you synopsis because I didn't have a chance to myself read this chapter. I'll finish reading and then we'll have it. However, you also get a chance. You have a 2 weeks break. You can also read it. So then if you have pertinent question, so we can do that way. How does it sound? Is it okay? You got a 2 weeks time. I'm going to read this all, make my points, summarize it. So we can just, give you the summary rather than going para by para. And similarly, if you wish, you all have your TLCs with you. You can also read it in the next 2 weeks. It just takes 15-20 minutes to read one chapter. It's pretty small. And then when you read it, and if you find a doubt, then we can address it when we discuss. So that will be interesting. How many of you think can do it? Read TLC and finish in the next 2 weeks. It's a small, is not too much. If not finish, but do it at least every day. Read at least 2 to 3 chapters, which are like 4-5 pages, 4-5 pages. How many of you can think, do it? Raise your hands. All right, Mother Priyanka, Mother Anjana, Mother Poonam, Mother Nitai Pran Prabhu, Mother Hindu Radhika, Ravi Bodkapu. Hey, Ravi Prabhu, long time no see. Yeah, तुम आ गए हो हिंजेवाड़ी में तभी नजर नहीं आ रहे. Mother Shweta, Mother Rashmi, Mother Rima. Okay, Mother Anjana, Sonam and Nikhil. Okay, what about others? Mr. Ritesh. हाथ खड़ा करो ना फिर. Boys here, how many of you can do it? क्या हुआ? घर जा रहे हैं? मुल्ला की दौड़ मस्जिद. हमारे प्रभु की दौड़ घर. तो घर जाके पढ़ नहीं सकते क्या? Guys, finish. अबे पूरा सोचोगे तो कुछ होगा. कम सोचोगे तो कुछ भी नहीं होगा. Target लंबा लेना चाहिए. Okay, then you'll do something. Try your best, but target, I'm going to complete it all. So then we catch up and do it. Okay, so thank you all for